people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. I made some very strong statements about the crime and the problems that were happening, and I've been proven right. And many of the people in this audience actually have apologized to me. I love the people of Mexico. I love the Hispanics. I have thousands of Hispanics right now working for me. Over the years, I have employed tens of thousands of Hispanics, many from Mexico. I have unbelievably great relationships, and in the package that we gave you, you'll see there's a poll, and I'm #1 with Hispanics. When you get right down to it, we're a nation that speaks English, and I think while we're in this nation, we should be speaking English. I want people to come into our country legally. I want to have a big, fat, beautiful, open door. I'm leading in every poll. I'm leading in every state by a lot, and nationally by a lot. I have a great relationship to the Republican Party, to the conservatives, to the evangelicals, to the Tea Party. You probably noticed right across the board.
I'm back with Sam, Arriva, Dondre, Omarosa, Ernie, and we have a studio audience exclusively filled with Donald Trump supporters taking us on tonight. Now, here's an interesting fact. Donald Trump seems to get a bump in the polls in spite of himself. I want to show you what I mean.
He actually announced, and remember he made those explosive comments about people coming across the Mexican border, saying that a lot of these people were drug dealers and rapists. Everyone said, oh, that'll be poison to his campaign. Look what happened to the numbers. It jumped up higher to 12%. Suddenly he was in the game. Then he made those comments about John McCain, saying he was only a war hero because he got captured. Everyone said, that's the end of the Trump campaign. Look what happened. The numbers jumped up again, and he started leading the race. And now he's made these comments about a breastfeeding woman being disgusting and all the other stuff about women out there that people said, again, it's going to poison his campaign. And look at these latest numbers. Now he has jumped up to a commanding lead.
And he's continued to go up from there with continued what would be maybe not tolerated by other candidates. Ernie, what is he tapping into? How does this work?
Well, you can hear it right here in this audience. You hear the passion in this audience. That's because...
Let me stop you. Sam talked about people being marginalized and he using a language that is divisive. I'm seeing exactly the opposite, that people are unifying behind him.
Really?
That's what I'm seeing.
This audience,
all Trump supporters.
No, but it seems
this
like
audience
that's what
is
the
going to prove to you, this audience and other audiences are going to prove to you the establishment is in trouble. We are done with the establishment, and we are going to kick them all out of office. This is it. It's over.
One thing, Dr. Drew, when we look at those numbers, we need to unpack those numbers. What do they really mean? Right. And what we are learning is those numbers keep going up amongst a certain group of people. Seniors, white males, and people who are less than high school educated. It is not a melting pot. It is not a melting pot of Americans who are supporting Donald Trump and his comments. And when I hear him call the Hispanics, the Mexicans, I cringe, because we've come so far in this country in terms of race relations, and to have someone run for president who's going to set us back 50 years, the civil rights struggles that we fought, to have someone be so demeaning to African Americans and Latinos is just offensive.
Well, let's get from the audience. Go ahead.
There's only two ways to become a citizen of this country. Either you're born here or you apply for citizenship. Yeah. That's the only way. Now, when a person crosses the border illegally, he just violated federal law. Yeah. He is a lawbreaker. He or she are lawbreakers. You need to understand that. They're lawbreakers.
I went to law school, sir. I understand.
I'm glad. Thank you.
That's right. So you were an attorney.
That to us, because
you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, but
know a little something about the law.
You brought up him demeaning a number of different people. He also demeans women, which I'm really surprised that we have all these women here. How many women have used Planned Parenthood as a healthcare service? I have. So many people are afraid to speak up nowadays because people are attributing it to the misinformation about abortion. Newsflash: Planned Parenthood services, 3% goes to abortion, just 3%, which is not which is not federally funded, it's privately funded. The other 97% goes to healthcare screenings, goes to cancer screenings, contraception. It is healthcare services for millions of women. And for Donald Trump to claim that he's for the helping out women and then wants to defund Planned Parenthood, how is that helping out all the women in this audience? I'm surprised.
It's a terrible political.
I'm surprised.
Listen to what Sam says, because she is right. I've worked in and around Planned Parenthood for a long time, and abortion was like not part of their deal at all.
It's saving us.
Let me just say, you know, the bottom line is that we want a leader that galvanizes us as a nation and not polarizes us. I think the vast majority of the things that he says are things that we tolerate because you're talking about someone who is financially independent and well off. We're talking about a billionaire.
You're talking about
someone
Hillary
who wasn't,
Clinton.
somebody who isn't financially solvent.
$2 billion, DeAndre. $2 billion she got while she was Secretary of State. It's $2 billion when she can't find her emails anymore. $2 billion, and the lady should be in prison. That's who you want to be your president.
I don't want to have to.
That's not a president. That's a criminal.
This audience.
This audience is perfect, and this audience.
Oh, let me hear. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
These
Andre? Yes, ma'am.
Well, there is a smorgasbord of comments that have been made since I raised my hand. So I'm going to start with the 80% of women being raped as they cross the border. That number came from a department in DHS. So I would like to ask you, who do you think?
Reva?
Samantha.
Oh, yes.
Who do you think is raping these women?
Well, I don't know about that statistic. I would like to hear what Areva has to say that because I'm not a lawyer. However, I also know that 1 in 5 women are sexually assaulted and raped on college campuses from very privileged American boys. So there's a lot of things that we can do to help this country. And I'm not saying that there isn't a problem with immigration. I'm not saying that there does not need to be reform. My biggest thing about Donald Trump is his delivery. I do not like the way he bullies people at all. I think it creates divisiveness rather than unifying us.
Hey, man, let me answer your question.
Okay.
You know, Donald Trump he doesn't have a monopoly on immigration policy. Everybody that's running for president is talking about immigration policy. So when you talk about he's talking about building a wall. Let me finish. He's talking about building a wall and deporting 11 million people. It's the most impractical, the most idiotic plan ever. It is not an immigration plan.
In 2007, under Speaker Sensenbrenner, they voted to create that wall. It has not been created yet, but they have collected the tax dollars for it. Now, the thing about Trump is this. He has told the truth. And every time we'll go back to that 80%.
He has not told the truth.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. Yes, no, just a moment. Trump has told the truth, because when the media claimed, oh, people aren't being murdered in the U.S., he started parading those families in front of the media, and they shut up.
He's been called out on lies, left and right.
You don't look like a Trump supporter to me. When people people think about Trump supporters, hold this for me, Ernie. When people think about Trump supporters, I'm not sure they think about you. What is he tapping into? Help me understand this. What is he? Just in a word or in a sentence?
Truth.
Truth.
That's not true.
And let me ask this. Have you felt like your truth has been sort of marginalized, or you've been shut down by the current sort of prevailing
The current
winds?
politicians have said what they needed to say during elections to get elected. Once they are elected, they don't take your phone calls.
No, hold on.
I agree. I actually agree.
It seems to me
they're not telling the truth.
There's some feeling he's tapping into. What is the feeling?
Truth.
No. What's the feeling? Are you angry?
I'm angry.
Okay,
because,
it's anger.
Yes, okay.
And what are you angry about? You're angry that you're not being heard and he's speaking for you, or
no? I'm angry because we have been being lied to.
Who? By whom?
By the current group of politicians.
Okay.
They have been.
Hold on. So the truth, you feel like you're hearing the truth from. I'm trying to understand.
But he's been caught on lies left and right.
Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example.
You know what? I think. Hang on. Do we have time for example? Tell me control room.
It's short.
Okay. You read that.
It's
short.
You
read that for me. Just read that. See what's on that prompter there? Go ahead and read that.
Next, Donald Trump and his most outrageous remarks against his fellow candidates after the break.
That's right. Back after the break.
Back after the break.